These 10 everyday foods are secretly increasing your stroke risk, so watch out. Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke. That's nearly 800,000 people per year, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And here's the part that should stop you cold. A significant number of those strokes are entirely preventable. What lands on your plate every single day could be quietly loading the gun, and most people have absolutely no idea it's happening. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 10 everyday foods that research directly connects to an increased risk of stroke. These aren't rare or exotic ingredients. These are foods sitting in your pantry, filling your refrigerator, and appearing at your dinner table on a regular basis. Some of them even carry a health halo, which makes them far more dangerous, because you'd never think to question them. Along the way, we'll give you smarter alternatives so that protecting your brain doesn't have to mean giving up everything you love. Stay with me until the end, because number 7 is going to genuinely catch you off guard. Let's get started. Food number 1 is processed deli meats. That convenient stack of sliced turkey or ham might feel like a sensible lunch choice, but processed deli meats are aggressively high in sodium. A 2019 study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that high sodium intake is directly associated with elevated blood pressure, which remains one of the most significant and modifiable risk factors for stroke. Just 2 slices of deli ham can push past 500 milligrams of sodium before you've added a single condiment. Freshly cooked chicken breast or low-sodium canned tuna are far safer options that don't come with that hidden cost. Food number 2 is canned vegetables. Before you pat yourself on the back for choosing vegetables, take a closer look at that label. Many canned vegetables are packed in sodium-heavy brine as a preservation method. A single serving of canned green beans can contain nearly 380 milligrams of sodium, and that adds up alarmingly fast over the course of a day. The American Heart Association recommends keeping daily sodium intake below 2,300 milligrams to protect cardiovascular health. Frozen vegetables with no added salt are a far smarter swap. They hold their nutritional value exceptionally well and won't quietly chip away at your blood pressure over time. Now, sodium is only one of the threats hiding in your kitchen. Starting with number 4, the risk factor shifts entirely, and it has nothing to do with salt. Most people never connect it to stroke at all, which is exactly what makes it so dangerous, so keep watching. Okay, food number 3 is margarine. For decades, margarine was pushed as the progressive, heart-healthy swap for butter. The truth turned out to be far more complicated. Many margarine products were historically loaded with trans fats, substances the FDA has directly linked to rising LDL cholesterol and falling HDL cholesterol, a combination that meaningfully raises stroke risk. Some spreads on shelves today still contain partially hydrogenated oils, so reading labels carefully is non-negotiable. A modest amount of olive oil or mashed avocado used as a spread gives your arteries a much better deal without sacrificing flavor. Food number 4 is sugary breakfast cereals. A bowl of colorful cereal feels like an innocent, cheerful start to the morning. But the sugar buried inside those brightly packaged boxes tells a very different story. Research published in Stroke, a peer-reviewed journal of the American Heart Association, has shown that high sugar consumption is linked to hypertension and metabolic syndrome, both of which elevate stroke risk considerably. Many popular cereals contain well over 12 grams of sugar per serving, and most people aren't measuring carefully. Plain rolled oats topped with fresh berries give you a genuinely satisfying breakfast that works with your brain rather than against it. Food number 5 is diet sodas. You made the switch from regular soda and assumed you were in the clear. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A study published in Stroke in 2019 found that women who consumed 2 or more artificially sweetened beverages daily faced a significantly higher risk of stroke compared to those who rarely drank them. Researchers are still working to fully understand the underlying mechanisms, but the statistical association is difficult to dismiss. Sparkling water with a squeeze of fresh lemon or lime delivers the fizz you're craving without the risk attached to artificial sweeteners. Food number 6 is white bread. Refined carbohydrates like white bread trigger rapid spikes in blood sugar that, over time, drive chronic inflammation and insulin resistance throughout the body. A large meta-analysis published in the British Medical Journal found that higher consumption of refined grains was meaningfully associated with increased cardiovascular disease risk, stroke included. White bread is one of the most heavily consumed refined grains in the entire Western diet, which makes this a widespread and underappreciated problem. Simply transitioning to 100% whole grain bread is a low effort change that can carry real, lasting benefits for your long term brain health. Food number 7 is pickled foods. Here's the one we promised would surprise you. Pickled foods, ranging from kimchi to pickled cucumbers to preserved vegetables of every variety, are frequently celebrated for their probiotic benefits, but they carry a sodium load that is genuinely alarming. A single cup of pickled vegetables can contain more than 900 milligrams of sodium in one sitting. For anyone already managing blood pressure concerns, that number matters. Researchers writing in the Journal of Stroke have noted that high dietary sodium remains among the most modifiable stroke risk factors worldwide. If you want the gut health benefits of fermented foods, plain yogurt or fresh kefir offer that advantage without the sodium burden. Food number 8 is fried foods. Fried chicken, French fries, onion rings. They're nearly impossible to resist, but the science behind regular consumption is sobering. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that frequent fried food consumption was significantly associated with a higher risk of major cardiovascular events, including stroke. Frying at high temperatures generates harmful compounds while dramatically inflating the calorie and fat content of otherwise ordinary ingredients. Air frying or oven baking with a light drizzle of olive oil delivers a satisfying crunch at a fraction of the cardiovascular cost. Food number 9 is alcohol. This one deserves some nuance. The National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke confirms that heavy or binge drinking significantly elevates the risk of both ischemic and hemorrhagic stroke. Alcohol raises blood pressure, disrupts normal heart rhythms, and can increase the tendency for dangerous blood clots to form. If you do drink, keeping consumption genuinely infrequent and minimal is the key takeaway from the research. Non-alcoholic alternatives like kombucha or sparkling grape juice let you participate in social moments without the neurological trade-off that heavier drinking carries. Food number 10 is red meat. We close with one of the most thoroughly researched items on this list. A large cohort study published in Stroke found that higher consumption of red meat, particularly processed varieties like sausage and bacon, was associated with a meaningfully increased stroke risk. Red meat contributes to elevated LDL cholesterol, systemic inflammation, and rising blood pressure when eaten in excess. That's not a call to eliminate it entirely, but frequency and portion size matter enormously. Fatty fish rich in omega-3 fatty acids like salmon or mackerel represent a far more brain-protective protein choice for the majority of your weekly meals. There you have it. 10 foods that could be working quietly against your brain health every single day. The encouraging news is that every item on this list has a smarter, accessible alternative, and consistent small changes accumulate into genuine long-term protection. If something in this video changed the way you think about what's on your plate, share it with someone who matters to you. A parent, a sibling, a friend, someone whose brain health you care about. Subscribe to our channel for more evidence-based health content that cuts through the noise. Your brain is worth protecting. See you in the next one.